we just want to say welcome, bienvenidos. We know that you have come from afar, many of you, many parts of the country and many from outside of the country. Our presence here is so important. As we gather from big cities and little towns, universities, faith communities, organizations, we come to express our solidarity with sisters and brothers of Latin America. We are here today to say that we will continue to accompany them in this struggle for peace and justice. Thank you.
So we welcome Father Joe Mulligan.
When Mike Wally and I were released from the Harris County Jail over here, little old jail in the neighboring Harris County around the end of April, Roy was able to pick us up, and after having a good breakfast, we came right back here to this spot, and we spent the day leafleting cars going in and out. We're not deterred, we're not dejected, we haven't lost hope, just like none of you have lost hope, and we're back here to continue this struggle now more than ever. I'd like to tell you that one lady who was coming in right along this road here stopped and she took our leaflet. Roy was also handing out to the relatively few cars who stopped. Roy was handing them videos. And this lady, with tears welling up in her eyes and a sense of outrage on her face, she said, "Do you know what are the 3 W's that represent George Bush?" And I said, "Well, no." And she said, "Warmonger, widow maker, and wrong." This was the lady of one of the military families going into the base here.
Caminando, caminando. One more time. Caminando, caminando. Caminando means walking in Spanish, or moving. We've been moving at a slow but solid pace. Caminando, caminando. One more time. Caminando, caminando. And in that walk that we've made, we've lost a lot of folks. Let's take 1 minute of silence for all of them.
He spent 2 consecutive terms in prison, serving 1 year. Please welcome Steve Jacobs.
Afternoon, how y'all doing? You know, judges and politicians are a lot like dirty diapers. They need to be changed often and for the same reasons. And this song is a song that I picked up snatches of conversations, things that people said to the judge, and put them in a song. It's called Going to the Courthouse. I'm going to the courthouse to testify for justice. I'm going to the courthouse to testify for justice. I'm going to the courthouse to testify for justice. Gonna speak my mind. I'm going to testify. I don't want no school of assassins. I don't want no school of assassins. I don't want no school of assassins. Not in my name. Not in my name. My law tells me you got to love your neighbor. My law tells me you got to love your neighbor. But you can't do that and exploit their labor. I know the difference from what's right and what's legal. I know the difference from what is right and what's legal. I know the difference from what is right and what's illegal. From a chicken hawk to a bald-headed eagle. Gonna ask that judge there whose side he's on. I'm gonna ask the the judge there whose side he's on. I'm gonna ask the judge there whose side he's on. 'Cause if it's yes or way, well, that side's wrong.
All right, let's hear it for Steve. Let's testify for justice. Steve Jacobs paid his dues.
Good afternoon.
Que los monstruos siempre se presentan con cara de corderos.
In Argentina, we always have this saying that monsters always show themselves as wolves in sheep's clothing.
Le han puesto el nombre de escuela porque ese es un nombre que nosotros conocemos desde pequeños.
And they put the name school because this is a name that we've known since we've been very little. And to hear it, it doesn't scare us. But it's the school of the oppressors.
I have in my hand a copy of John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. And I also have a current copy of the Dallas Morning News. And I will be reading from these two items, and this is a Woody Guthrie song.
I ain't got no home, I'm just running around. Work when I can get it, I go from town to town. Police make it hard, wherever I may go. And I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
And the land fell into fewer and fewer hands. The number of the dispossessed increased, and every effort of the great owners was directed at repression. The money was spent for arms and for gas to protect the great holdings, and spies were sent out to catch the murmurings of revolt so that it might be stamped out.
I've mined in your mines, and I've gathered all your corn. I've been working, mister, since the day that I was born.
And in Chiapas, rebels used NAFTA as a tool to recruit peasants. Zapatista rebels hiding in the mountains are trying to win new recruits by denouncing the North American Free Trade Agreements. For once, California belonged to Mexico and its land to Mexicans, but they could not resist because they wanted nothing in the world as fanatically as the Americans wanted land. But the rich people have ranches of 10,000 acres, and the peasants do not have 1 square meter. The tenant system won't work anymore. One man on a tractor can take the place of 12 or 14 families. You'll have to get off the land. The plows will go through your dooryard. And an incredible number of people will be displaced and head for Mexico City or the United States. A way of life is ending.
I'm stranded on this road from sea to sea.
And in the night,
100,000 others are stranded here.
one family camps in a ditch,
100,000 others, 100,000 more.
and another family pulls in.
I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
Now 2 men squat on their hams. Here is the note, you who hate change and fear revolution, you must keep these 2 men apart. Make them hate, fear, and suspect each other. For here I lost my land is changed, and the danger is here. For 2 men are not as lonely and perplexed as one. And from this first we, there grows a still more dangerous thing. I have a little food, plus I have no food. And if from this problem the solution is we have a little food, then the movement has direction. And this is the beginning. This is the thing to bomb. This is the beginning, changing the I to we.
I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
But now changing the I to we.
We ain't got no home in this world anymore. We ain't got no home in this world anymore.
Thank you so much. You've been a fabulous audience. David Rovicks, Maria Pinto.
Chris Chandler, let's hear it. Let's welcome Bob King from the United Auto Workers.
Thank you very much. I'm here representing the labor movement today. My good friend Chip Slaughter is just coming up from the AFL-CIO here in Georgia. We are very, very honored to be with all of you here. From the labor movement, we want to say thank you to the SOA Watch. We want to say thank you to all the community activists, religious activists, spiritual activists that for so many years have been coming here. I want to give you some good news that today in our Labor Caucus is the largest it has ever been at the School of America Watch this morning. I also want to acknowledge that the Labor Caucus today, there are representatives from the United Steelworkers of America, from SEIU, from the postal workers, from the laborers, from a whole bunch of different unions. We are here with you. We understand the importance of standing in solidarity together. I think often of what happened in Germany under the Hitler regime, and because progressive folks didn't stand up early enough together, a society was devastated. There's a famous quote from the Protestant minister that because I wasn't a Jew, I didn't stand up when they were taking the Jews. Because I was a Catholic, I didn't stand up when they were taking the Catholics. Because I wasn't a labor leader, I didn't stand up when they were taking the labor leaders. And when they came to get me, there was nobody left. Today, we're in a globally condensed world. The forces that we are fighting, in my belief, are forces of greed and forces of power. That unless we care about our sisters and brothers in Colombia and El Salvador and throughout the world, in China and everywhere in the world, we cannot be strong here together. We will be here one day longer. We will never give up. We want to join with you in having love overcome hatred and violence. In love, we express love in the labor movement is solidarity. The real meaning of solidarity is love to your sister and brother, in standing and struggle with your sister and brother. Solidarity! 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 Thank you.